American Bitch, the dog magazine for women and their dogs.
Welcome to Sleepover Cinema, where we analyze the movies, shows, and music that created the collective unconscious of those who need to bring at least 8 kimonos for a weekend trip. I'm Hannah Leach.
And I'm Audrey Leach, subscriber to American Bitch magazine. And today we're entering the Mayflower Dog Show.
We're going to explore the good, the bad, and the nonsensical aspects of having 2 left feet, literally.
And is the lesbian romance of Jane Lynch and Jennifer Coolidge proof that God exists? We'll decide together as we discuss 2000's Best in Show.
125th annual Mayflower Kennel Club Dog Show. 3,000 dogs competing for Best in Show. To think that in some countries these dogs are eaten.
Cookie and I work as a team. We met at this dance.
He didn't want to dance.
I got 2 left feet.
I thought he was kidding.
But I wasn't. I was born with 2 left feet.
Beatrice has been showing signs of depression.
Ever since she saw us having sex. What would you like to say to Beatrice right now?
I'm sorry you had to see that.
I've been a hairdresser about 14 years. And went to a show. I asked my ex-wife, I said, who's that? She says, that's Scott.
We got top loin, porterhouse, T-bone. We got everything.
So basically, meat.
Leslie and I have an amazing relationship. People say, oh, but he's so much older than you. And you know what? I'm the one having to push him away. We both love soup.
The bloodhound not only has a great nose, but they can talk.
What you doing, bloodhound doggy?
What you do? And he's saying, I'm ready. That's when you know he's ready for show.
That goal is that Best in Show ribbon.
Actually, poodle means puddle in German.
You want your busy bee? Come get your busy bee.
God, Harrison, if she doesn't get a door, she's gonna flip out!
It's not in here. You left it at the hotel. Go to the hotel and get busy bee!
That's my favorite, the miniature schnauzer. You'd think they'd want to breed them bigger, wouldn't you, like grapefruits or watermelons?
Don't look at the fathead losers or freaks. You look at me!
He went after her like she's made out of ham.
Welcome back, everybody, to Sleepover Cinema. Today, we're talking about Best in Show.
That might seem maybe a little off of our normal genre, but there's a good reason for it. And that is that we are going to have Lukas Battle on the show today. Honestly, you probably have seen him on TikTok. If you are on the app TikTok and you're roughly in our age demographic, you've probably seen him on there before.
Yes, he also is known as the progenitor of the concept of loud budgeting.
We'll ask him about it, but I'm pretty sure it was just like a one-off joke TikTok that he made, because I remember seeing it initially, and then like a few days later there was like he was like on the news talking about the concept of loud budgeting, which is essentially telling people around you, right, that you are not going to be spending kind of.
Loudly announcing your budget. Well, so I was looking at his Instagram, and one journalist posed it as the opposite of quiet luxury. Right. But my understanding is the same thing that you said, like announcing that you are not going to spend money frivolously so you don't get pressured into doing it.
They took it more seriously than it was
for
intended.
Sure. Definitely.
But maybe it was like the intern at the station was like, can we?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yes, I'm excited to chat with him in the second half. Before we get into the facts, however, I went to my local Regal cinema recently and I saw Late Night with the Devil, and I've been thinking about it so much since I saw it. I really, really liked it. It's so funny because the plot synopsis, or like the the thing you read before you go see the movie reads as almost the exact same thing as Immaculate.
Yeah, which is funny because guess what? The First Omen is also the same thing as Immaculate. Well, technically Immaculate is like The Omen. The Omen is an older movie.
Yeah.
But right now, there's this weird timing thing where religion, demon baby, pregnancy, female protagonist, possession, all those things, they're in like every movie right now.
Yeah.
It's like Rosemary's Baby 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and 5.0.
Yeah.
But that being said, I did see The First Omen, surprisingly good. Because usually, like, if you're going to go into a prequel, you kind of are like, it can only be so good. And, like, the biggest payoff moment is just going to be the moment where they, like, shout out to something that's in the original or, like, something makes sense with the original. I hardly even knew that The Omen existed because I haven't seen it. Yeah. So I was like, it stood on its own.
And I probably wouldn't have seen this movie in this moment in time in my life if I didn't have Regal Unlimited, which I'm still rocking with. It's fantastic, pays for itself in 2 visits, and Regal loves to support the girls.
So if you would like to see any of the plethora of horror films where young women are nuns and go to convents, please check out the link in our description. You will be able to get a 3-month 10% off Regal Unlimited subscription. I said that in a weird order.
It's fine.
You will be able to unlock a 3-month 10% off Regal Unlimited subscription using our code.
It's time to get into the facts. So, Best in Show was released on September 29th, 2000 and was rated PG-13.
Synopses. IMDb. At the prestigious Mayflower Dog Show, a documentary film crew, in quotes, captures the excitement and tension displayed by the eccentric participants in the outrageously hilarious satire Best in Show. This biting send-up exposes the wondrously diverse dog owners who travel from all over America to showcase their 4-legged contenders. Mild-mannered salesman Jerry Fleck and his vivacious wife Cookie happily prepare their Norwich Terrier, while shop owner Harlan Pepper hopes his bloodhound wins top prize, as 2 upwardly mobile attorneys anxiously ready their neurotic Weimaraner and an ecstatically happy gay couple dote on their tiny Shih Tzu. Inept commentator Buck Laughlin vainly attempts to provide colorful tidbits about each breed. Those names.
The names do so much.
Rotten Tomatoes, the tension is palpable, the excitement is mounting, and the heady scent of competition is in the air as hundreds of eager contestants from across America prepare to take part in what is undoubtedly one of the greatest events of their lives, the Mayflower Dog Show. The canine contestants and their owners are as wondrously diverse as the great country that has bred them.
They managed to say diverse in both of these, which is funny based off of what our current understanding of diversity is, because they're all white.
They're personality diverse.
Yes.
And okay, taglines. First one, a comedy from the director of Waiting for Guffman. Okay, duh. And the second one, some pets deserve a little more respect than others.
Best in Show was produced by Castle Rock Entertainment and directed by Christopher Guest.
Christopher Guest is known for his satirical comedic movies. Married to Jamie Lee Curtis, fun fact, when Jamie Lee Curtis talks about how they met and stuff, it's kind of interesting because she basically, I think she saw him on the cover of a magazine, like he was already famous, and so was she, and she just looked at him and was like, I'm gonna marry that guy, and then she did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
But yeah, I feel like most known for Spinal Tap. That's probably the number one film out of his filmography.
Yeah.
He's known for having collaborated with like a bunch of very talented improv actors from the 90s. So it's like I'm a Parker Posey stan at this point. So he does have good taste in quirky white people, like he does.
Not only is he the director of all those movies, but he's also in them. So in Spinal Tap, he plays Nigel. In Waiting for Guffman, he plays Corky St. Clair. He plays Harlan Pepper in Best in Show and Alan Barrows in A Mighty Wind. So whenever people are actor-directors, that seems like a bad idea. But in his situation, it seems to work out well. Apparently, the story outline for Best in Show was only 16 pages long, but that framework was established by Christopher Guest and Eugene Levy, who is also an actor in this movie, but you are probably familiar with him. Most people who listen to Sleepover probably are familiar with him from American Pie, Father of the Bride Part 2, or New York Minute, but he was also in A Mighty Wind, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show. To me, it seems like he is the right-hand man co-creator of a lot of the best stuff that Christopher Guest has made.
I would say also he's really most known for Schitt's Creek now.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to write that in there. Okay, so now the cast. It's very much an ensemble cast, so just go along on this journey with me. So firstly, we have Parker Posey as Meg Swan. She's best known for Scream 3, Blade Trinity, Dazed and Confused, and Superman Returns.
Party Girl, really good movie from the 90s where she plays a party girl who becomes a librarian. It's really good.
Next, we have Michael Hitchcock as Hamilton Swan, best known for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, United States of Terra. He's in Bridesmaids, and he was also in Glee for a chunk of episodes.
He's the guy at the jewelry store in Bridesmaids.
Then we have Catherine O'Hara as Cookie Fleck. She is the mom in Schitt's Creek, but she also was in like all these Christopher Guest movies. And she also was in the Series of Unfortunate Events miniseries with Neil Patrick Harris. Then again, we have Eugene Levy as Jerry Fleck. We have Christopher Guest as Harlan Pepper. Then we have Michael McKean as Stefan Vanderhoof. He was in Spinal Tap and A Mighty Wind. And also, though, he was in the movie Clue and in Better Call Saul. Then we have John Michael Higgins as Scott Donlin. He is in Pitch Perfect. He's one of the commentators in Pitch Perfect. And he's in Bad Teacher, A Mighty Wind. Of course, we have Jennifer Coolidge as Sherry Ann Cabot, Cinderella Story, American Pie, Legally Blonde, White Lotus, etc. We all know who she is. And then lastly, we have Jane Lynch as Christy Cummings. She was in A Mighty Wind. And she's Sue Sylvester on Glee.
She also has a somewhat weirdly illustrious Broadway career.
True. That is absolutely true.
Miss Hannigan. Okay, budget was $10 million. Opening, I read that wrong. Okay, wait, no, that's actually normal. Budget was $10 million. At first, I was like, opening made $413 million. Opening made $413,436 in 13 theaters. Well, okay, that's really good for only being. Obviously, it had a wider rollout after that. I would assume 13 theaters is like nothing. Worldwide, it made $20,789,556. That is a success.
Okay, so now getting into critic opinions. So on Rotten Tomatoes, Best in Show has a 93%. Okay, the critic consensus is a fine example of writer-director-star Christopher Guest's gift for improv comedy. Best in Show boasts an appealingly quirky premise and a brilliantly talented cast. Audrey, will you play the role of Roger Ebert?
I'm a dog lover, but I am not a dog fancier. I can understand people who dote on their dogs, but I cannot understand dog shows which make dogs miserable while bringing out the worst traits in their owners. That's why I approve of Best in Show, a wickedly funny mockumentary by Christopher Guest that makes fun of a Philadelphia dog show with every instrument in the satirist's arsenal. Built around the improvisational techniques of Second City, the movie is consistently just plain funny and sometimes ascends to a kind of crazed genius.
I like scoured to try to find a review that had a more negative take just for the sake of variety, but really all I could find was The Village Voice gave it like a 3-star review and said, "Best in Show succeeds only insofar as you're willing to laugh at a bunch of sad freaks." So audience score was 88% and the Letterboxd average rating is 3.9 stars. Here are some audience takes. First one, 4.5 stars. Boasting an array of wild and colorful characters, Best in Show's improvisational style set at a unique event works wonders by giving you much to laugh and gawk at. Keep in mind, this is 3 stars out of 5. What a stacked cast. This was really fun. Makes me want to go to a dog show. Haha. Now, this next review is the most sleepover cinema ass review of all time. I could not believe I found this. This movie was generally much funnier than I thought it was going to be, and it has Hilary Duff's evil stepmom in it, which is always a treat. I thought the dog show was another bit of subtle humor because the dogs were just walking around in circles, being looked at and not running through tubes or racing each other like in Nintendogs or the Puppy Bowl, only to discover that dog pageants are a real thing. Whether this makes the movie better or worse is a matter of personal preference. 5 stars for jokes and not needing the Wikipedia article to understand the plot. And then I just had a little tidbit for the end here that I thought was interesting. So in the movie, there are 2 gay couples, but really the main one and the featured one are these 2 men. They're both into dog shows, obviously, but like one of them is a lot more like flamboyant than the other. But their relationship is like very like loving and very normal. And so compared to these other couples where things are like kind of bad, like the straight people couples are struggling. So I found this article that was written in September 2020 by Brett White, and the title of the article is Best in Shows Scott and Stefan Have Gone From Groans to Gay Goals in 20 Years.
20 years ago, Stefan and Scott seemed, to my Southern Baptist deeply closeted high school self, flaming gay, hilariously gay, upsettingly gay. They seemed just too gay. They were like 2 men together with frou-frou dogs and leather pants and kimonos. I hadn't rewatched Best in Show in a while before my husband put it on, and he, like I, both came to a realization. Stefan and Scott are nowhere near as gay as we remember. They were real, they were kinda us, and they were kinda goals.
This was the first time I had seen this movie, which I know is really upsetting.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Our introduction to Christopher Guest movies was really odd because in choir class in high school, our choir teacher loves Waiting for Guffman. Like, it's his favorite movie. So he showed it to us and could quote the entire thing and like loves Corky St. Clair and like it was kind of shocking.
I think the thing with our high school choir teacher is that
he's not gay.
He's not gay. He also is like pretty self-serious. So
Yeah.
to find out that he loved
A
Waiting for
satirical
Guffman.
comedy.
Yeah, like he did not show it to us. I just remember him loving it.
I think I like rewatched it at home and then I watched his other movies. But it did kind of open my eyes to the idea of a scripted documentary, aka a mockumentary, like an improvised fictional story in a documentary format. And that is a format I love. And he really like contributed a lot to it. And now, I mean, you see the ripple effects of Christopher Guest's work a lot. But I just don't really think that people are doing it very well right now. There's a lot of kind of like the Office style mockumentary, like Abbott Elementary, shaky cam scripted TV where you're going to have breaking the fourth wall moments.
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't like, to me, like Abbott Elementary fills a similar slot as like Modern Family did for me when I was a teen. Because like you could watch that show with your parents and it was genuinely funny and age appropriate. It like felt comfortable to watch. And I feel like Abbott Elementary fills a similar slot. But when I have watched it, I've been like, they're looking at the camera way too much. Like they're doing it way too much.
Okay, got it. Okay, so we will be right back to talk with our guest, Lucas, all about Best in Show. If you want to watch the movie, I rented it on Apple TV for $4 because, again, I'd rather just pay the $4 than like go through the fight. So give it a watch if you haven't yet. It's really, really good. And
just go on a whole Christopher guest binge.
Yeah.
And join us back here with Lucas momentarily. All right, we are back to talk about Best in Show with Lukas Battle. How are you, Lucas?
I'm doing
What's
I'm
up?
doing so good. I'm in a place of tranquility. My life is going perfectly right now. Nothing to complain about. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, of course. And if you weren't picking up the sarcasm there,
Today has been
things
horrible.
are not going well for Lucas today.
Things have been bad this whole week. It's been very stressful. I'm very confused about the time. The only way I can really tell the time is to reference my rotting bananas. That's how much time. That's how I can tell time. It's just my produce. But yeah, I fully thought that this was going to be tomorrow until I saw your email 15 minutes ago. And it's so rude of me. I know, I'm so sorry, but that's where we're at. This is so exciting. I absolutely love watching movies, especially like old movies. I'm so happy that when you were asking for submissions that this was not taken yet.
We've never really veered into, I guess, satirical comedies that are like made for adults. Like for a long time, and mostly we focus more so on 90s, early 2000s, some 2010 stuff that is like more aimed at teens or a little bit younger. Because that's like a part of the show, I guess. But when you said Best in Show, I was like, I would love to bring in Christopher Guest into the sleepover cinema world because I did start watching his stuff when I was a teen. It definitely like molded me in some ways. So I was curious, like, because you bolded it in your email. So I was like, oh, it's one of your favorites.
Oh, I love this movie. I think it's genius. Like, I think it's so simple. It's so funny. It's just like a bunch of like crazy characters. I love movies where you can tell that they had so much fun filming it.
Yeah.
Like you can feel that through the screen. Like they just like looked like they were having a blast. So that's kind of why it's like a comfort favorite of mine. Plus it's my mom's favorite movie and she's the one that showed it to me and it like makes her like cry laughter like every time.
Yeah.
So like it has like a good place in my heart.
It gives me like retroactive jealousy of their friend group. Like what I would give to be in that friend group.
Yeah. So funny. And you can just tell that like while they're editing it, it was so hard to like not include everything. You know what I mean? They had to like pick and choose. It's like for like smooth brain. It's perfect. It's like it's literally just enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Okay, before we dive into all that, because we got right into it, I didn't mean to do that, but we did. I wanted to tell you how you came into my, I don't know, world, TikTok world, I guess, if you will. Basically, a few years ago, me and my friend Hunter were watching TikTok and we stumbled upon the one where it's you and your sister talking about like, I don't even know what you're talking about. This is like 2021, but you basically, somewhere within this TikTok, you're like, we just walked like 3,000 miles.
I know what you're talking about.
And then you're like, funerals are happy. I don't even know, but it became like, because this is COVID times, you know, kind of. For some reason, this particular TikTok became like a language. Like we would just say lines from that TikTok to each other.
I love that. That makes me so happy. I know what you're talking about. And I know that that video was a response to a question. So I can't even remember the context of what I was talking about. But I know that it was absolutely absurd. I'll have to look at it after this. But that is really funny. That was with I think with Ava, my sister Ava.
Yeah.
You
know what? I might as well just tell you this. I told Hannah this earlier. So I moved to LA from New York in the summer. And I saw you at a party once.
Where? Where? In LA?
No, in
Not
New
in
York.
LA. Oh, okay.
In New York.
Where?
Okay, so I don't really know how to describe this place because I don't know who you would have known there or who I even really knew there. But basically, it was like in Chinatown-ish, Lower East Side, in the backyard of like this house.
Was it like a huge house, like almost like it had like stained glass windows? Yes. I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got there either, because that was like, I remember that was like kind of, you know, when you're day drinking and you kind of starts with like brunch and then all of a sudden you're at a Chinatown 3-story house do you know what I mean? And you didn't know anyone. That's what that was. So I am glad that we were both there by chance, but I remember that. And it used to be like a monastery. Did you know that?
Yeah. But yeah, I saw you there once. I saw you at that party and I was like, should I tell him that I love that TikTok? And then
You should have, because that was the first day I microdosed shrooms and I was feeling so happy in the monastery in the backyard. So you should have came up to me because it would have been amazing.
Whoa.
Would have been happy. That's the funny thing about New York though, is that like, I don't know, I feel like you like cross paths with so many people. You have like repeating crossovers with people. Like, I don't know. There's something about it that like, you just run into the same people over and over again. So
yeah.
Although I didn't know it, here we are again.
So before we get into the movie, so you're a writer, you're a comedian. I also hear you're an economist. Would you care to expand upon your qualifications?
Yeah, I'm contributing to the culture in a humorous way, but also I have a deep financial background that goes back a couple months. Yeah, I thought it was funny until I got really real. The loud budgeting wave took me to places I thought I've never been, and I will never go again. Like, it was really funny when the first person reached out to me, and then when the Wall Street Journal was asking for my comment on inflation, it felt really like out of pocket. Like I was like, I know, but you know it's a joke, right? Like, you know it's like sort of a joke, and they'd be like, no, we know, but like the unemployment rate is at blah blah blah. What do you think about? And I'm like, I had to call. London was calling. London's calling.
God.
I had an interview with Good Morning New Zealand. It's so funny you brought this up because somebody DM'd me on TikTok and said, I can't look because I don't have my phone, but it said like, I thought you'd think this was funny. Today in class, my economics teacher assigned an assignment about loud budgeting at the University of Virginia.
What?
I'm like, don't be teaching this. It's going to be in the curriculum. Why is it in the curriculum? Loud budgeting is a new concept I'm introducing for 2024. It's the opposite of quiet luxury. But if you know any rich people, you know that they hate spending money. So it's almost more chic, more stylish, more of a flex. Loud budgeting has the same feeling as sneaking candy into a movie theater. You feel like you got away with something.
So do you think it was just like basically one outlet decided to take it to that level of seriousness and then it was like a domino effect?
100%. And honestly, I feel like it was just a bunch of like clickbaity, like in the beginning of the year, I feel like they have so many like, here are already the trends, like here are already like they come out with a bunch of those articles. And I feel like once it kind of got going, everyone was like, oh, we have to report on this random trend that's made up. That's literally like, they were like, how'd you think of this? I was like, how did I think of budgeting? Like I didn't think of it. But yeah, so I think it was, I like to pretend that I like shifted the global economy, but it really was just, I feel like a clickbaity kind of like trendy thing that they all had to do once one of them started doing it. So I keep trying to think of a second one. I don't want to be a one-hit wonder.
A second like economic trend.
Yeah.
Principle.
That's tough when
know,
your background only goes back a few months.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially because I'm so bad with money. Personally. Everyone wanted to hear what I thought. And I was like, take notes, Dad. But yeah, it was fun.
So did you give a comment on the unemployment rate?
Oh yeah.
What did you say?
I said it's too high, of course. Let's bring it down. What do you mean? And then they were like, inflation. And then I'd always be like, ugh, everything's getting so expensive these days. And they'd be like, right. What do you think about that? And I'm like, I can't even afford a coffee a day. And like, I like brought everything back to my personal life, which was like not what they wanted. That was a lot.
That's so funny.
Wow. It was funny.
Now you have the Wall Street Journal on speed dial. You never know.
No, I have all their contacts saved. I saved them all.
There you go.
Put them on.
Just in case. In case I have a story to pitch.
Now, now going into Best in Show.
Yes.
When was the first time you watched it, if you can recall? And what do you remember being like your first impressions of it?
I want to say I was in maybe freshman year of high school, young high school. I feel like for a very long time I knew what I wanted to do. I used to watch SNL growing up with my dad, and I don't know why, but I just vividly remember sketch comedy being such a kind of important thing to me. I don't know why. I remember watching this movie and just loving it because, like I said earlier, you could just tell that they were not half-assing, but they were obviously improving. Do you know what I mean? They were obviously making it up on the spot, and I think that was very appealing to me. And then obviously my mom really loved it, so we would laugh together, and that's kind of what bonded me to it. It's just kind of a comfort film to me. But yeah, I would say freshman year of high school was the first time I watched it.
Our choir teacher showed it to us, which actually no, he showed us Waiting for Guffman is what I meant to say. But that's what got me into Christopher Guest sphere specifically. Although apparently he didn't show Hannah the movie.
So I'm 2 years older than Audrey. So we've had a bunch of the same teachers, but different experiences of them.
That makes sense.
I can't believe that I'm even gonna disclose this, but I had not seen Best in Show until we chose to do this episode.
And what'd you think?
Here's the thing, I don't have bad taste, I would say. What I'm saying is I went into this and I was everyone was always you're gonna be obsessed with this. It's such a good movie. And I enjoyed it. I liked it. It didn't change my life though, and I thought it would change my life.
Well, I think, yes, I get that. And also it's so hard to watch anything where people tell you you're gonna love it. I have that adverse effect. Not saying that's why you didn't like it, but I mean, it's very juvenile. It's it's fun to watch when you're young. You know what I mean?
I'm also someone who enjoys Nacho Libre very sincerely. So it's not it's not the bar is extremely high. I think part of it too is that I watched it alone in a very straightforward manner, which is perhaps
it's not
the ideal.
You watched it alone in IMAX?
Yeah.
You took it seriously. You were I'm going to watch the show. No.
I went to IMAX
4D for Best in Show. No. Okay, well, that's good that we have different opinions, though.
And that's kind of the boring thing is that I don't hate it. I'm just I am new to this landscape, But obviously I was actually saying this to Audrey the other day. So I was a very femininely glamorous person up until
6 months ago.
Basically when I 6 months ago.
When you moved to Chicago.
I used to have blonde basically kind of, but I got this haircut. And then when I was looking at Jane Lynch next to Jennifer Coolidge, I sent it to Audrey and I was I feel like this is me, this image, the two of them next to each other feels like
who you used to be
of the past 12
months. Well, it's who you used to be and who you are now.
Yeah. And what two great people to be, Jane Lynch and Jennifer Coolidge.
Right. Jane Lynch especially is so inspired in this movie. I love it.
I know. I love her in it. And the cast is stacked though. It's crazy. And I feel we don't get a lot of comedies like that now. I don't know. I feel it was very small, short stories, and all of them were very distinct, and all the actors were full on. They were going for it. That's something I really like about it too. I mean, Jennifer Coolidge, Jane Lynch,
Parker Posey.
Yeah, who's in the new season of White Lotus.
I know, which I'm so
that?
excited about.
Me too.
I'm a Parker Posey stan, and
me too.
I know, it makes so much sense that Mike White understands and appreciates someone like Jennifer Coolidge, and so since he killed her off, it only makes sense that he would bring in someone like Parker Posey, and that is very exciting to me. Also, this is super random, and I wonder if anybody else has had this thought, but Katya the drag queen, Parker Posey, they remind me of each other. And I can't, I can't explain it, but I feel like they need to be in a room together. They need to be in something together, like playing sisters, like Katya's in drag, Parker, you know what I mean?
I love that. I mean, I think Katya's obviously hilarious, and I love her, but I think they could riff off each other really, really well.
Yeah. There's that brand of like odd humor that they both come by very naturally, just like off-putting.
Mm-hmm.
It would be perfect. I've always thought that, and I've never actually verbalized it. But
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've never like sat in bed and like matched those two. But
no,
now,
why would
but
you?
now that you've said it,
yeah,
let's put it out there. Let's
pitch it.
Let's get a casting agent. Yeah, let's pitch it. Let's get those together in a room. I love that idea.
With Best in Show though, the one thing about it that I guess I'm disappointed by is Christopher Guest's character in Best in Show. I feel like is just not nearly as strong as his characters in other movies. I guess he's less of a main character, but he's also feels a little less fleshed out to me.
Yeah, he's not in it that much.
No.
And
normally he's got, I mean, because he directed it, like, it's basically Christopher Guest and Eugene Levy, it's their brainchild. And usually Christopher Guest's part is, like, I guess more crucial to the story or crucial to the mockumentary than he is in Best in Show. But, like, I just love him in Waiting for Guffman so much that, like, I just, like, want more from him in Best in Show.
Yeah, like, they're all B characters because they're, like, have such small, like, screen time, but he's, like, even less in it. Which also, Jennifer Coolidge isn't in it that much compared to some of the other people. I feel like they maybe underutilize some people.
Wait, have you seen Waiting for Guffman? I feel like that's important to know.
No, I haven't.
Oh my God. You would love it. You
really?
would yes.
Because wait, will you message that to me? Wait, what is it called?
Waiting for Guffman. It's
okay. I need to see this.
Another Christopher Guest. It's got like the same cast. It's like literally the same people. Another Christopher Guest movie where he plays a community theater director.
Love.
And he's you actually see bits and pieces of the community production. I just know you're gonna die.
Oh, I'm obsessed with that concept. I love that.
And the concept why it's called Waiting for Guffman is because the Christopher Guest's character's name is Corky St. Clair, and he's waiting for this like theater agent named Guffman to come to his production, and there's like an empty chair at the front of the gymnasium auditorium thing, and it's just it's great.
I love the concept or the dynamic of like this thing that's so important to the characters is so local and like regional, like it's like the biggest deal to them, but like strip it all away and it's like they're in like a gymnasium in like New Jersey, and you're like, it's like, the stakes are so high for no reason. Like that's so funny. I love that.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So I definitely need to see that then.
Yeah, because like if you had, I feel like there's a good chance we might be talking about that right now instead of Best in Show. I feel like Waiting for Guffman is like a further evolved version than Best in Show. Yeah.
Okay, I need
There's
to check it out.
There's just a lot more to it, like more elements. There's an original show in it, which is cool.
I'm gonna see it, and then you're gonna have your first ever recurring character on this podcast. I'm gonna come back and give my thoughts.
And let us know. Like, is it better? I feel like it is, but also you have to consider the whole like nostalgia element. Like I definitely saw Waiting for Guffman before.
But also a local theater plot line, like a community theater plot line, you really can't beat it. Audrey and I both in high school were in like a really, really intensely competitive show choir, like a traveling competitive show choir. And we made a documentary about Ohio show choir. And
where can I see it?
It's like a full-length documentary.
It's full length?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's full length. It was really Audrey's baby. I was like the aunt of this documentary, essentially. It is similar in that it's like relatively, it's like regional, but very passionate within the region. It's community theater vibe adjacent, but like more intense, I would say.
I need to see this. This is like exactly
we'll send
what
it
I
to
would
you.
love to watch. Anything making fun of like a super niche community. Oh,
it's
I don't know
best.
about that. It's funny.
No, it just is.
Well, I don't know about that, but like theater camp is funny. Like choosing, but like in terms of like a dog show, a theater camp. You know what I mean? Like
Niche
getting that.
interests, not like
Niche interest.
Yeah.
Making fun of a small, the minority community is, cut that, because people are going to take that.
We don't need that.
But I meant like a niche interest, yes.
Yeah.
That's so
but
funny.
yeah, that's really, really funny. Okay, I'm definitely going to check that out.
Were you a theater kid?
No, and I was just thinking about this, like, I probably should have been, but I was in student government, which kind of feels like theater in some other way.
Serious.
Yeah.
Like I was like planning events and like, I don't know. I should have done theater, honestly, but
it's very
my
similar.
school didn't have a big theater program at all. Like it just was not. I feel really bad if someone like who went to my theater, who like went to my high school, like heard this, but like I don't think it was very like developed. Like I think they had like a couple. They had like a end of the year play, and that was like it. But I don't know. Like
if there was
some
nothing there
schools
to
are really into
intrigue
it.
you, yeah, I mean, because
Yeah.
it's like if we had gone to a school that like didn't have it, or it wasn't cool, or not that it was cool, but you know, it wasn't like respected or well funded, we probably wouldn't have done it either.
There's a school right by my school called Interlochen. That's
Oh
like
my
a
God, yeah, we know
very like
Interlochen.
famous. Like that's where I feel like
Yeah.
like if I was there, I would love it.
Yeah.
But and then also I just have a terrible voice.
Oh.
Like, also, I'm like pretending like I could pick and choose if I want to be the star of the theater. Like also, I'm not talented, so like it's like also like I was kind of backed into a corner. But yeah, if I was a good singer, then maybe I'd be into it. But I do like acting. Acting is fun. But you guys did choir.
We did all the
Both?
things.
You did both. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but acting, we're
Not
totally
acting.
going off in the Guffman
Neither
direction.
of us really
No,
specialized
I
in
had,
acting.
I had one big part at the end of high school, and it was mostly a singing role, thank God, because in the scenes where I had to act, it was like, you know, not to mention Drag Race again, but you know when like a queen has to do an acting challenge and it's like really fucking bad, but she's like okay at the other things, like that's what it was like. I saw like a small clip of the acting that I did not that long ago, and I was like, I can't sit here and endure this. It was so
And
bad.
like, but like to be fair, you were cast in a role that is supposed to be played by like a middle-aged Black woman, so
that is true.
That's hard to embody. That's hard to embody.
Hard to embody as an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old in Ohio.
White girl.
in summer.
I knew it when I had the part, but then much later I was like, that was
Wait,
kind of wild.
isn't
but
it-
That's how it
Wasn't that
worked
Cheryl
out.
Lee Ralph's part? Like
It was.
What the hell?
Emmy winner.
Yeah,
And
newly-
Tony. Does she have a
Yes,
Tony?
and then it was-
too?
Yeah, I think she
for that part.
does.
Okay, yeah.
It was just
And you didn't
me.
outdo her, Hannah?
What a moment.
Wow. As the 17? Pack it up.
I'm gonna say that I did my best, but no, Cheryl Lee Ralph is not going to be out of the job anytime soon at my hand.
At
That
my
would
hand.
be really, it would be really surprising and unlikely.
Yeah. I want to ask, did you go to NYU?
I went to Michigan State. Didn't like it. I hated it.
It was unclear to me if you were, because I don't know. I thought for some reason you might be, but you're not. So that's good.
No, yeah, I'm not. I had a very like random intro to New York. I came here my senior year of college, which is like strange. Yeah, from Michigan State, because I got a job in New York and I literally finished up online because I didn't want to go back to the field, the drinking field. I couldn't go back to the drinking field. But did you guys like NYU?
Okay, you know how you're like, get me out of the drinking field? I look back at it and I'm like, maybe I should have been
the
drinking
by the porta
field,
potties in the
like-
drinking field.
Yeah.
With the cows.
I think that there's like a certain level of like mental illness you are struck with when you go there that just kind of stays with you.
Yeah.
Stigmatizing.
A lingering pain.
No, it was fine. That's how I feel about it.
For me, it was, I mean, it's like earth-shattering at first, for sure. Coming from the suburbs, you're like, and Hannah was abroad when I first got there. I was alone.
I had no support.
I was like, well, fuck my life. By the end of it, I think it's kind of like, you know, like you kind of remember the end of, like, you remember the end of high school and you remember the end of college and like how it all puts a either positive or negative connotation on the whole experience as a whole. Like, I feel like that's basically what happened with you, Hannah, is like, that's why I became more negative. And then for me, like, I finished and made that documentary that we mentioned as my my senior thesis, and it ended up taking like 2 years longer than even college.
Wow, yeah.
But because I got that out of it, I think it was a positive thing. Yeah.
Wow. So what I'm hearing is NYU is a phantom limb that you will never ever forget and get over, and the pain sometimes pulsates at random times. Wow. So special.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is very cool though that you made a full-length documentary. I mean, I could not imagine the blood, sweat, and tears you put into that, because I've made a short film that was 15 minutes and that almost killed me.
Yeah,
I almost died.
hard.
I almost died. So yeah, people died. There was actually a death on set. But yeah, so a full-length documentary would be insane.
Have you ever watched the work of Chris Lilley, like Ja'mie Private School
Girl?
Girl?
Thank you for bringing it up. I didn't want to bring it up because there's problematic history, but you brought it up, and now I can talk about it. Ja'mie Private School Girl changed my life. It is hilarious. I think he is so funny until he did that thing.
I know,
but,
it's bad. There's actually worse.
God.
There's worse than that.
Shoot. I didn't know that.
Because he's Australian, he thinks that he has the right to portray other races other than white people.
Which is insane, because
I don't know.
Australians are famously the most white people ever.
Right. So, Chris Lilley, unfortunate about a lot of his choices. However, specifically Ja'mie Private School Girl also changed me.
Didn't we watch the whole thing like twice?
Yeah, like I think it was like maybe 2013.
Like 2012,
13.
2013. I remember watching it all the way through in one day with our friend Chris.
I just can't stop thinking about so quiche.
Yeah,
so
quiche.
I say it to myself all the time.
Or like
that's so quiche.
When she's like stand up, like, do you have a box gap? Like like the 3 fingers thing.
Or I think always don't touch my Coke Zero.
Yeah.
That's like that's playing in my head. Like, I'll be on the subway, like literally depressed, and in my head I'll just be like, don't touch my Coke Zero. Like, literally don't touch my Coke Zero.
Don't touch my Coke Zero.
But to speak more specifically to the characters in Best of Show, I love the like character details that they'll add like a whole new dimension, like the braces.
Yeah.
The braces on Parker Posey and the guy, I forget his name. That added 150% more to the character.
Yeah.
Like, it gives you so many questions. Why do they have braces at the same time? Why do they insist on wearing all beige? Why is her like wig like that? Like, if
they're
that was a wig.
Calvin Klein couple, right? Or is it J. Crew? J. Crew, right? Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah.
I wore this sweater on purpose as an homage to them.
God, that's perfect. Yeah, they're great. I love the dynamic in the beginning of the film with Jennifer Coolidge and the old man. I think that's really funny. I mean, it's like done before, but like it's funny. I just love when she says, "We have so much in common. We both love soup." Like just like I don't know. She's like, her line delivery is so good in that. I love when Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, they're talking about the relationship, and she's like, "I had hundreds of boyfriends."
Yes,
hundreds. And he's like, and he's like, "Oh, hundreds." And it's just like such like an
it's
awkward...
the best recurring joke for them too, because and like brought it all the way to the end where men just keep recognizing her and they're like, "Cookie? Is that you?"
Not Cookie.
It's so funny. That was probably my favorite joke in the whole thing, like recurring joke.
She was very popular back then. She had dozens of boyfriends.
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds.
I did not know that. Well, not that I didn't have a reputation myself, because I was considered, by some to be quite the Casanova myself.
I also really, really love the super weird song that they sing about God loving a terrier at the party. Yeah. Because the harmonies on it are so weird.
I know.
Yeah.
like the song itself is just bizarre, and then just from a musical standpoint, I'm like, where are they taking
It makes you wonder, like, if there was an instrumentation to the song, what would it sound like?
Right.
They give their love to you. God didn't miss a stitch. Be it dog or be it bitch. When he made the Norwich merrier with its cute little derriere. Yes, God loves a terrier.
The Photoshop job on that tape cover is so funny and bad. Like, it's like it leaves in like half the background, and like they're supposed to be cut out. I enjoyed that detail.
Yeah. The gay couple in Best in Show, although very stereotypical and probably damaging, is funny as well. Like, because they're just so like outlandish. What he said, I love how when he's flirting with the front desk guy and he goes, "Where are you from? Norland, or something like that." I don't know. He's like just like so insane. They're like flirting with him. I thought they were funny, and there's just so many actors that are now so big that like it's funny that they're in like these tiny little roles.
There was one detail with the gay couple where when Stefan is on the bed and he's putting up the tapestry and just has one tiny ponytail at the front of his head, that made me laugh. That because it's just such like a stupid little detail to add in there. I just loved that. And also, like, so I did some like research into what you were saying about it being like a potentially damaging like representation or whatever. And I think one thing that's super interesting is, like, for example, when you think of, like, Legally Blonde and, like, at the end of Bend and Snap when the gay guy walks in and it's, like, a punchline. Like, I think that is kind of, like, the seed that this couple came from. But then they're such, like, a functional and loving couple, actually, that it's, like, oh, like, everyone else is falling apart, but they just, like, are having a fun time and are, like,
just enjoying
happy to be there.
Yeah.
They're like, we just wanted to have a fun weekend. I think definitely during that time, though, there's like a lot of like movie characters that it was at their expense for sure. So I guess you're right.
Yeah, for sure.
It was not that bad. They were funny, and you're right. They're the only ones that didn't fall apart. I didn't even think about that. Oh my god.
Yeah, or just like the whole time they were just like having fun together. I really enjoyed them. I was happy that they were there. And also it was like, for example, with like the Jennifer Coolidge and Jane Lynch relationship, like it was amazing. Like I love it. But at the same time it was kind of like more like alluded to throughout. Whereas with this one, it was just like cut and dry.
Yeah. I have to say, like, Christopher Guest and Eugene Levy, they're both straight, but like, or, you know, as far as I know, but they are very like normal when it comes to gay people in their movies and in their stuff, and they like seem to get it on a pretty deep level. So I don't know. It's
they do get it.
Yeah,
that's so true. Because I mean, obviously, like he was in Schitt's Creek and his son wrote in, he's gay.
Right.
But that like then you like zoom back like however many years Best in Show was, and it was like still the exact same attitude.
Yeah.
Which is like great, obviously.
Yeah. You know, maybe that's where the Canadian of it all comes in.
Yeah. That they're not
Me about to Google, are Canadians less homophobic?
I think like, I've heard that.
I wonder when gay marriage was passed in where do we got it? Where do we see?
I don't think it was that much before the US, but
Oh no! In 2005, they had
10
gay
years.
marriage.
Wow. You can thank Best in Show.
Canada.
10 years.
Best in Show swung the votes. That's what happened. It changed Canadian policy.
Yeah. I have a good fun fact, which is that gay marriage was legalized in the US on my 18th birthday.
Way to make it all about you.
I know. I was a camp counselor at a children's theater camp that day, and the director of that theater camp is a lesbian, and we told her. Like, I like told her.
You told her. You said, "Come here. I know it's my birthday. Come here. This isn't about my birthday."
I was like, "It's not. It's actually about your life."
It's legal to be you now. You were looking around the theater camp and you were like, "This is gonna be an important day for a lot of you later."
A lot of you.
I love you later.
You're gonna remember this. Not that it was my birthday, but that's okay.
You just were given license to love. that actually is a really fun. That's an interesting fact. The day that gay marriage was legalized for me, I think I was like on my phone. I remember I was like scrolling through Twitter, and then I like saw a bunch of flags, and I was like,
You're like, what?
"Oh my God!" Like I actually thought that was already legal.
Yeah.
I like can't believe that wasn't already a thing. But yeah. So Best in Show is a very gay movie now that I'm thinking about it.
Again, when I was compiling all the like facts for it, the two genres it was sorted into were three. It was mockumentary, comedy, and LGBTQ.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was about dogs.
Nope.
Right. Apparently not. Apparently
No,
not.
that surface level thinking.
American Bitch, the lesbian purebred dog owner. I'm like, I need that. I actually need to subscribe to that.
I kind of want Jane Lynch to make a comeback. I haven't seen her since Glee. Like, what has she been in?
Broadway.
Oh, Broadway.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's
not really
doing stuff.
Kind of. Yeah, she's definitely still doing a lot, but she's just not nearly as like in the forefront. But she was like being Leah Michelle's mother in Funny Girl on Broadway, like not long ago.
Oh yeah.
No, but she left before Leah Michelle got there.
Oh right. So she was the original casting. That was drama. That was actually really good drama.
Yeah, that was
She was
drama.
in the original casting with Beanie, and then when that all went to shit, Jane Lynch left like the week before Leah came in. That was actually a very potent like pop culture moment that
I'm not into Broadway at all, but I remember following up on that drama.
Yeah.
Like I remember being like
Yes.
really into that because it was like so dramatic. It was like
it was.
Yeah.
It was very
what did you guys think of
fraught.
that?
It was
Yeah.
super fraught because so the character that Fanny Bryce is, because that basically Funny Girl's based on a real woman who wasn't like stereotypically like beautiful or like she wasn't thin, and so that was like a part of who she was in real life. And then when it became Barbara, it was this whole thing of like she's not pretty, but like she's literally the most gorgeous ever.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you talking
Barbara
about?
Streisand, yeah.
Yeah. The image of Fanny Bryce as a character became like a thin, beautiful woman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what did you send? Oh my God. Hannah, that's terrible.
What is that?
Sorry, I should have warned you. It's in the chat.
Wait, how do I get to it?
Holy fuck. I'm sorry
scared.
if I
Hold
jump
on, hold on.
scared
I
you.
don't-
Scared me.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
That's her?
Yeah, that's her.
But that's her
Holy
being normal
shit.
underneath it.
The first one's her being
Sorry,
silly.
Audrey. Yeah.
So point is, by casting Beanie, there was like a deliberate effort to like not go down the Leah Michelle route. Like they were like deliberately
see.
trying to not do that, and then
Yeah.
it just didn't turn out the way that they had hoped. People were being so shady, like taking like illegal voice note recordings in
Yeah.
her performances and putting them on TikTok. Like it was really fucking intense.
Yeah, I remember seeing those.
Yeah.
Oh, I literally could not imagine ever putting myself in that position. But yeah, that's rough. Rough.
But anyway, yeah, Jane Lynch, she was there, and then she got the hell out of there before Leah showed up.
She left.
Yeah. She is hosting The Weakest Link on NBC, so she is a game show host.
Right.
Love that for her.
At the very
She's
least.
making
Good
bank
for her.
with that.
Yeah, she's got a paycheck coming
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
in.
for
Love that
sure.
for her.
Anyways,
Yeah,
let's find a way to wrap this, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's say you encounter someone and they're like a new friend of yours or something, and you're like, oh my God, you need to see Best in Show.
Yeah.
What do you say to them to make a compelling argument? Other than being like, you'll love it, because
That
as
doesn't
we
work.
know, it's not a
Yeah,
good argument.
no, that's gonna ruin your case. I would say you need to see Best in Show because it's a fun-loving, improv-based character comedy that is unapologetically Canadian and full of dogs and quotable lines. Does that work? I don't know.
Yes.
Is that good? Okay.
Yes.
That's what I would do.
I think
That's like
so.
my little.
I think
And I would just say
so.
it's like it's just silly. It's no thoughts, funny. Yeah. Just like an easy
Hard-
watch.
Yeah. And
Easy
that's hard to
watch.
come by in 2024. That,
Yeah,
you know, it's
100%.
like
It is.
Just go get
100%.
a good giggle, you know? That's all you
Yeah,
need.
but everyone's holding a giggle and just let it out. Let it roar. Just do it. Do it.
Let the giggle
Yeah.
roar. Lucas, it was so great having
Thank you.
here with us today. And thank you for advocating to watch Best in Show, because now I've seen it
Okay.
because of your
Good.
love. So there's already one person
You've changed.
It starts with one. It
compelled.
starts with one.
It starts with one.
Yeah.
Oh, and before we go, where can our listeners find you on the
Oh
internet?
my God.
Economist content coming.
Yeah. Wall Street Journal. No, I'm just joking. Just my at Lukas Battle with a K. Don't ask me why it's with a K. I've wondered my whole life. It should have been a C. Yeah, just my name. That's where I'm at. If you want to hear me rant on the internet.
Thank you for taking the time, especially
a
as
crisis.
your bathroom
The world comes
ceiling
down.
recovers from having caved in.
Yes.
We are so happy
Yes.
to have chatted
Thank
with
you so much. I had so much fun. I feel like we could have talked endlessly about everything on earth.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yes.
Life
agreed.
with you too is amazing. I'm gonna pop in. You use the same Zoom link?
Well, we're here.
No,
Yes.
literally we do. We always use the same.
We do
I'm gonna
every
figure
time.
out
This
the
is
next
the
time
room.
You're filming and I'm gonna pop in.
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with Lucas, expert on Best in Show.
I hope that you guys enjoy, because I think we're going to have like several guest episodes in a row, and it's different for us.
Yes, it is.
But it's fun.
So, with all that being said,
For more from us, we're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube at Sleepover Cinema, and post a full video version of each episode on YouTube every Thursday. You can follow me, Audrey, at Audrey A. Leach on everything.
and you can follow me, Hannah, at Real Judy Garland on Instagram. And if you haven't joined our Discord server yet, the link is in our episode description.
You can check out our merch at twopingproductions.com/shop. We have t-shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, and more.
And if you love Sleepover Cinema, if you love Christopher Guest, if you love Best in Show, share the episode with a friend, a family member, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, a glistening, gleaming 5-star review, letting us know what movies you'd like us to cover next.
Sleepover Cinema is a production of Evergreen Podcasts, produced, edited, and engineered by us, Hannah and Audrey Leach. Sleepover Cinema is mixed by Sean Rule Hoffman with theme music by Josh Perlman Hall. Executive producer is Michael D'Aloia.
We could not talk or talk forever.